In this video, I'll show you how to do process separations in Photoshop and still be able to print halftones without using a rip. So the first thing you want to do is take your image. Typically, I try to keep it at 300 dpi at full size. And you want to flatten your layers if there are any. So in this case, there are none, but you would just go to Layers, Flatten Image. Alright, now we want to make sure our mode is CMYK. Going to flatten your colors a little bit, but depending on what colors you're using. And then we're going to go over to our channels and just choose split channels. Now each one is separated in an individual channel. We'll go to our black first, and we're going to choose mode, bitmap, and our output mode is just going to match our resolution. So in this case 300. Our halftone screen is what we want for our method. I'm going to choose OK. Now on the black plate, you can begin by using a 22.5 degree angle or a 45 degree angle. In this case, I'm just going to use a 45. And the frequency is going to be dependent on your screen mesh. So in this case, we're going to say 305 degrees. And I like to typically divide by 4.5. Some say 4, some say 5. So I usually do about halfway. So that's a 67 degree. And because it is halfway, I can bump that up a little if I want. And also the elliptical dot. So in this case, we'll just do 70. And our screen angle, we can keep that at 45 for the black. Now you can see it's went ahead and created this halftone pattern. Next we want to delete all this white. So we're going to go to Mode, Grayscale once again. And we're going to take our Magic Eraser tool. Keep our tolerance down. 10 works pretty good. Turn off Anti-Alias. Anti-Alias smooths image. And this doesn't need any kind of smoothing because we have hard lines and pixels here. If we smooth it, what it's going to do is it's actually going to take and round into some of this black, and it's going to get rid of the extra black, and then we have to do a couple extra steps to get that back. So just keep it turned off. Contiguous, basically that just means wherever there's white, if I'm going to delete the white, any white that's touching will be removed, and any white that is not will remain. But if we turn that off, then all the white will be deleted. So we just click on it, and now we have a layer with no white in it. And we're just going to create a new, let's go to layers instead, not channels. Create a new layer. And we just put that below, and we're going to fill it white. And we can call that layer, shirt if we want. If we're going to print on shirts. This layer here we can just call black. Okay. Now we want to convert this image to an RGB. CMYK will work, but RGB will keep your file size down. We're not going to merge the channels now. Now we have two separate channels, one black and then the shirt color. Okay, so we can just set that to the side. Now we want to pull the cyan plate because we're going to go CMY. So we're going to go cyan. Again, mode, bitmap, 300. Now we're going to keep the frequency the same, but the angle we're going to add 30 degrees every time. So in this case it's going to be 75. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's turn it back to grayscale. Pull our Magic Eraser tool, click on the white. We'll just kind of zoom out a little bit. Let's pull our black. Which one is our black? Right here. Let's move that over to the side. Just click and drag, and then we're just going to drop it until it snaps in place. We can double click on this layer to the right of it, or you can right click, and we're going to choose color overlay. Click on the color here, custom, choose Pantone process coded here, and then scroll all the way to the top, and this is the cyan plate, so we'll just go ahead and choose cyan. Hit OK. Get rid of it. Now we'll go to the magenta. Once again, we'll go here. Frequency, we're going to add 30 degrees. Zoom in here. Turn it to grayscale once again. Get rid of the white. Zoom back out. And just click and drag into the other one and move it till it snaps in place. And this was the magenta, so our color overlay will be magenta. Alright, and then our last one is yellow. From bitmap once again, add 30 degrees. Zoom in. Convert back to grayscale. And we're going to convert this. Actually, let's click and drag it first. And convert that to yellow. And we're using these because they're processed, so it's a process cyan, process magenta, process yellow. Okay, now at this stage we can see all these colors are really vibrant. So what we want to do is we're going to dumb that down, but we have to get rid of this color overlay because we want that yellow in this case to be the actual layer with no special effects, and the color layer is basically an effect. And the way you would do that is just go ahead and go new layer and just create 3 different layers and just put those layers directly underneath each of those 3 layers you just brought in. And then we're just going to merge down. So we'll merge layer 3 and the layer 5. We're just going to merge those down, click on the next, all the way down. Now you can see each of these layers are no longer have an effect, and that is the color of the layer. Okay. Now all we have to do at this point is take our layer. Let's go ahead and just title it. Since we're here, we're going to choose multiply, and then we'll say this is magenta. Oops. And layer style is multiply, and we'll say this is cyan, and again multiply. And we can zoom in or zoom out, and you can see we have the image now ready for separations. And we zoom in, we can see all the way the colors interact. Now if you wanted to print this, all you have to do now is, if you right click, you can go to blending options, choose color overlay, and we're going to just move that down to black. Now we can right click on this if we want, go copy layer style. Now with some of the newer versions of Photoshop, we're just going to, there we go, paste layer style. The newer versions probably have shortcuts. Unfortunately, my version does not. We'll just go back in here again. I just have an older version. And so when you wanted to print, all you would do is just turn off whichever layers you're not printing and just go File, Print. And there you go. That's how you would do a separation in Photoshop and print without using a rip and still achieve the halftones you need.